APSCo is the trade body for the UK professional staffing industry, and to be recognised as a shining example of doing something right by the institution that effectively keeps our industry in the straight and narrow is a fantastic endorsement of our efforts. We want to show our employees, our clients, our candidates and our competitors that CSR isn't just a box-checking exercise. We actually do it and we're being recognised for it. APSCo actually have quite a fair and structured approach to the awards that celebrate the hard work, resilience and excellence, professionalism even of our peers, and it's great to be part of that winning circle. I believe that the CSR Initiative of the Year category is actually a new entry to the APSCo Awards this year, and in some ways it's even more of an honour having been the first to win that award because of our charity partnership with the Dame Kelly Holmes Legacy Trust. The CSR Initiative submission comprised 3 broad questions. The benefits of that is that they can be interpreted in various ways, which really gives you the flexibility to identify the key areas that you want to talk about with your CSR activities. So 3 very short questions, a whole lot of content. Because our charity partnership with the Dame Kelly Holmes Legacy Trust is so intrinsic to our company culture, there's a huge amount to talk about. So after writing the great British novel, we then have to cull our account of our CSR activities quite significantly to conform with my nemesis, the word count limitation. This for me is the most difficult part, particularly when you're talking about a subject that you feel so passionately about and you really believe in. How do you qualify one point's importance over another? When we talk about investment in our submission, it really isn't financial, it's about people, it's about resource, it's about making a difference. When I joined Morgan Hunt 11 months ago, today in fact, this was really one of the biggest sells to me. A company so much in a relationship with their charity is a company that I want to be associated with. And Morgan Hunt is a company that really recognises the importance of corporate and social responsibility. The face-to-face interview stage, initial reaction was a heady mix of fear and exhilaration. Secondary reaction was that it was the fastest 30 minutes of my entire life. I had a whole lot to say. I think I must have come across as a cartoon when their speech becomes faster and faster and faster until their head explodes. Les, the head judge, manages the time with military precision, and which I completely understand given the amount of people they have to judge and the panel has to actually interview. But it felt like I blinked and it was over. It happened so quickly. The panelists actually brought about a unique approach to their questions, combined with that mutual objective of identifying the company that they feel most effectively demonstrated the success of their CSR strategy. The questions were actually fair and open, which gave us the opportunity to elaborate on points that we might not have been able to in the submission because of that word count limitation. Overall, really, if you liken it to a game show where you know all the answers and you have an opportunity to inject your personality into the delivery, for me, I thoroughly enjoyed the process in its entirety. When our name was announced, ecstatic, overjoyed, elated, every euphoric feeling, I felt it. I was grinning like a Cheshire cat. I felt like a schoolgirl at her annual prize giving where you're quietly hoping that your name gets announced. And when Anne announced Morgan Hunt as the winners, I think I actually squeaked a bit with delight. But most importantly, it really is about that recognition amongst our peers that we have successfully implemented a CSR strategy into our culture, a fantastic CSR strategy into our culture actually, even more endorsed by the fact that we were up against such worthy competition. For us, really, it's about showing our employees and our future employees, our clients and candidates, that as a business we use our powers for good. We don't just talk about CSR, we actually do it. It's not a check writing exercise, it's an integrated strategy that involves all our employees to achieve our internal objectives of increased staff retention, improved employee engagement, client retention, client attraction, whilst also supporting the Dame Kelly Holmes Legacy Trust achieve their objective of getting young lives on track. At Morgan Hunt, we really are in it for the long haul. The business benefits are secondary to the success of the trust. That said, this relationship does help our bottom line. We are so intrinsically linked as a business and a charity partner. When we first started our partnership with the Dame Kelly Holmes Legacy Trust, who is effectively an organisation that helps young and vulnerable youngsters get back into employability, it was very much at their startup, at their fledgling stage, and we were one of the first partners with the DKH Legacy Trust to invest. It was more, in that instance, it actually was more about the money because they were at that point a very fledgling stage. But what is fantastic to see with the trust is how our relationship at Morgan Hunt with the DKH Legacy Trust has actually evolved. As they've grown, we've moved away from that financial support and actually supporting them through other ways. Our employees are really engaged in activities. For example, we would run mentoring sessions, or we run Dragon's Den style workshops where a group of youngsters would come in and our own consultants would get involved and actually help them on interview skills, on CV writing, on generally how to conduct yourself in that professional environment, because what you have to remember is that this is the first glimpse of these youngsters are getting into that corporate world. So we want to make sure that we can arm them with all the information they need to help them succeed. And the benefit of that really to our employees is that they feel that they are actually helping these young people make that first move. And to get that feedback is fantastic, especially when they actually follow up with the youngsters that they've guided and hear all the success stories. Morgan Hunt also plays a very important role within the IT infrastructure that we started up with the trust, and we've really been supporting them since that evolution, and it's just undergoing a process now whereby we're still working quite heavily on that piece with them. And that's what I mean by the fact that we've moved away from that giving financial support process to a real relationship. I mean, in reality, the trust staff are actually on the Morgan Hunt help desk. We feel as if they are actually part of our company. We treat their employees as if they are. All our heads of departments have equivalents at the trust who they're in touch with if we were talking about events, if we're talking about fundraising activities coming up, and if we want to get our staff involved, because a lot of staff that might not get involved in the workshops actually get involved in fundraising activities, and they raise the money directly for the charity because they really believe in what we do with the trust, because they can see how invested we are, not again, as I say, financially, but more about people and effort and just working so closely with the trust.